Well, Lena Dunham is back in the news because we are all sinful creatures who deserve punishment from the Almighty, hence her. Yesterday, the star of Girls tweeted at American Airlines saying their employees had engaged in the most wicked of sins, transphobia. Dunham tweeted, quote, "Not going to call out the airline who delayed because bleep happens, but I did just overhear 2 American Airlines flight attendants having a transphobic talk. At this moment in history, we should be teaching our employees about love and inclusivity." Assuming that's a word. "That was the worst part of this night," close quote. Well, the airline quickly responded, quote, "Your comments have us concerned. Please meet us in DMS with your record locator and details." So far, it's not clear if the attendants have been identified or if they will be punished or even if Lena Dunham was flying on American Airlines or anything, but here we have it. The interesting story, Brian Claypool is a civil rights attorney who supports the tweets that Lena Dunham sent out. He joins us tonight. So I'm not just asking these questions because I'm opposed to Lena Dunham on principle, though obviously I am, but because I think it's a really interesting question. So she's alleging she's walking through the airline terminal and she hears 2 people having a private conversation. And she says they said this: 2 female flight attendants talking about how trans kids are a trend, they'd never accept a trans child, and transness is gross. Now, whatever, you can agree or disagree with those sentiments, but they're not plotting to kill anyone. And so the question is, should you lose your job over having a private conversation where you express views like that? And you say, yes, you should?
Well, Tucker, I'm not sure I say that they should lose their job, but I think what Lena Dunham was trying to accomplish is to raise awareness within one of the big airlines in the world. This is a common carrier. This is a personal service business. This isn't like me driving out of a parking structure and giving my ticket to a ticket guy and paying him. So she's concerned that this might be something that emanates throughout American Airlines. So she's now using social media to raise awareness. And guess what? That statement you just posted, the statement you posted proves that American Airlines is taking this seriously.
Well, I'm sure they're intimidated because she's, but hold on, back up. American Airlines didn't make this statement. This was 2 private individuals talking between one another, walking through an airport, and she happened to overhear it. And so I guess my question to you is, should American Airlines not allow its employees to have these opinions? Should they crack down on people who have these opinions? Is that what you're really arguing?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that. I mean, we live in a civilized society.
Wait.
We need more social
So if somebody, no, I know, but wait, hold on. They run an airline. And so should they ask all of their hundreds of thousands of employees, quote, "Do you find transness gross?" Is that, like, should they really have that level of control over the opinions of their employees? Are you being serious?
I didn't say that, Tucker. I think what American Airlines needs to do, well, let me finish. What American Airlines needs to do, what big business needs to do, I've sued big business for 10 years for discrimination claims, and they do, listen, they do nothing unless you create a potential consequence for them through social media. It's not until...
Stop. Hold on. Nobody is alleging... No. I want to get the terms clear because you're distorting them. Nobody discriminated against anyone else. Nobody hurt anyone else. These are 2 people talking to each other in private. That's very different from going out and hurting someone. This is an opinion. And I grew up in a country where you could have opinions that maybe you didn't agree with, but I could still not be punished for that. And you're saying they should be punished for having a view that you disagree with in private. And I'm saying you're a fascist for believing that.
Okay. What I'm saying is American Airlines needs to conduct or implement more sensitivity training. I don't think they need to go out and ask every employee, hey, are you anti-gay or anti-transgender? But they need to implement sensitivity training because what Lena Dunham is saying, Tucker, is what if a transgender person is sitting in a seat and these 2 flight attendants make comments like that in front of passengers, for example? So she's trying to preempt that. I'm just saying she's trying to...
Let me ask you a question. What's the most insensitive thing you've said to a friend of yours in private in the last 10 years?
Probably call them an a-hole?
No. Have you ever expressed a view in private that you wouldn't be comfortable sharing, for example, on a live TV show like this one? Let me answer that for you. Yes, you have.
Yes, I have.
So do you acknowledge that there's value? Do you acknowledge there's value? Okay, they were walking, talking to each other. What I'm saying is, look, you guys who are pushing social change in the rest of the country are going about it all wrong. Most Americans are tolerant, compassionate people. And if you say to them, hey, don't bother someone because he's different, most Americans are like, yeah, that's fine. But you're taking it 2 steps beyond that and saying you're not allowed to have opinions. You're not allowed to have your own views, or we're going to hurt you. And what I'm saying is, I will fight you on that. I am tolerant. I have no interest in bothering other people. But when you tell me I'm not allowed to think certain things, that's too far. Do you catch what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, Tucker, but here's 2 problems with that. Number one, these comments weren't made in your living room or my living room. And number 2, you don't work for American Airlines. So these comments were made in an airport.
I work for a big company. If I'm talking to my brother in a private way, I'm allowed to have heterodox views. This is America, man. Like, Tucker, what are you arguing exactly?
If you had a transgender, let me ask you a question then. If you had a transgender daughter and you were flying American Airlines and you had heard that a couple of their flight attendants think that transgenders are a bunch of garbage or whatever they said, messy people,
they didn't say
you don't think that would strike... Listen, you don't think that would strike a chord in your body and you want to see some change in that airline?
I walk through airports. Slow down. I walk through airports and people call me names. I'm on television. People don't like me. Hey, go F yourself. Whatever. Okay, I don't like it, but I'm not trying to get anybody fired over it. And by the way, that's happened in front of my kids. I'm not whining. I'm just saying people disagree with each other. That's okay, Brian. You don't have to crush them. Do you get it?
I don't think she's trying to crush them.
Yes, she is.
Tucker.
Yes, she is, and so are you.
I don't think... No, I'm not trying to crush them. I'm trying to raise social awareness and social acceptance within big multi-billion-dollar companies, and that's all she's trying to do.
What you're doing is raising awareness of your real goals, which is to control people's opinions, and I just think that's wrong. So, and it has nothing to do with trans people. It has to do with the freedom to believe what you want to believe. Brian, thank you for coming on tonight.